78 Sports TV here, holding it down for the homie King G, the boxologist.
I picked King G to come through and win it all, man. I'm gonna keep it young, man. It's his entertainment factor and his knowledge in general. The way he present his argument and like break down your arguments at the same time. I like his style.
We got King G, the boxologist. So he sounds like he the guy. His name say he the guy. So we gonna see. He already proclaimed himself.
All right, let me go to boxologist. Boxologist, what type of performance you putting on, man?
Man, we trying to tap into Ultra Instinct one time, man. You know what I'm saying? We trying to put that spirit bomb on that boy, blow him up, man.
I'm calling King G the winner by knockout round this motherfucker.
I know this didn't just happen.
Real dog round this motherfucker.
Hey, King G told him straight up, BL. He said, hey, he my warm up. I'm finna hit him with the spirit bomb in his bitch.
King G came in with a hell of a
he did his thing.
He a hell of a debater.
He did his thing, man.
So I'm talking about King G, the boxologist. This monster King G. I'm talking about that monster King G.
But I got boxologists until somebody beat him. I have to see somebody beat him before I pick against him.
He's just not on the level of a King G when it comes to debating, because he had a layup and he couldn't dunk the ball.
Oh, for sure. We got two KG victims up there and shit. Like this nigga, you know what I'm saying? This nigga got us beat free. What we gonna do? King G got us both on his goddamn King G got us both on his goddamn wall, D free. Ain't gonna lie, I had a 3-0 King G. I had a 3-0 King G. Okay. As far as me judging it.
King G, boxologist, was the victor. He took the entire tournament.
King G, what's up, man? Old school King G, the debate champion is in the building, y'all. That's right, the king of boxing debates right now.
King G, boxologist, Dr. Boxinologist, the Baba Yaga of debates, the undisputed king. Not the Highlander, but the Boxlander. There can only be one. The champ. Now you know who you listening to. Let's talk some box.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm now introducing to you our first episode of the Lions Den Boxing Weekly Roundup. And I'm your host, King G, aka the Boxologist, aka the undisputed debate boxing champion of YouTube. And this is my co-host.
You know what it is, it's your boy Fair Shake, the one and only. I was getting money while them niggas kept dissing me. Pulled up, police frisking me, jumping out the whip all fly like yes it's me. My bitch mad but she keep kissing me. That's it.
And it is time for royalty to talk, man. How you feeling, King? It's the first one, baby. This is the first official, man. You know what I'm saying? And today we gonna cover, you know what I'm saying, our post-fight afterthoughts of the fights that happened. We're gonna talk about our pre-fight predictions of the fights that's about to happen. And we're gonna talk about all the hottest boxing news, the latest hottest boxing news that's going on right now, that's coming up. So we're gonna jump right into it, man. Man, bro, it's been a long time, man. It's two old school boxing heads, man, out here, man. I'm happy to have you, brother, as my co-host, man. This brother Fair Shake, man, this is one of the most knowledgeable guys in boxing, man. I mean, the brother's intellect, the way the brothers gives his opinion, the way he facilitates, the way he breaks down his fights and his perspectives, man, and the way I'm gonna break mine down, man. I'm honored. Man, it's about to be a hot show, bro. It's about to be a hot show, man. So without further ado, man, we gonna get right into it, man. The first thing on the chopping block, man, we want to talk about is our post-fight afterthoughts, man, of the fights that just took place in the last couple of weeks. So we gonna kind of catch up 2 weeks, man, since we kind of started this little thing late, man. But first thing we got on the table is Jaron Boots Ennis versus Roman Villa. And if we know, the fight ended in a TKO 10th, or it might have been a KO 10th round stoppage, man. Man, so Shake, man, go ahead, but I'm gonna let you set it off, man. What's your take on that fight, man?
Well, I'm gonna say this. So when the fight was made, everybody was excited, right? And I was excited for the fight too because I know Villa is a dude that's going to give it all he got. I knew that from the rip. Right. I knew I was going to get a fight. So I was excited about that. But and listen, it's all love. It's never no hate. I'm not being pessimistic, but I gotta speak my mind and I gotta say how I feel. I understood that Villa was tailor-made for Jaron Ennis' style. I understood that because me being a dude that is about, I study the sport, I study strategy, I study styles, and I understood that if Jaron Ennis is a dude that if you're gonna come to him, if you're gonna give him what he wants, he's damn sure gonna take it.
Oh yeah.
So I understood from the rip that Villa, his style, no disrespect to Villa, but his style was tailor-made for what Jaron Ennis has to offer. So the writing was on the wall for me for the knockout. The writing was on the wall. So I enjoyed the fight. I enjoyed the performance by Jaron Ennis. I enjoyed the toughness and the performance showed by Villa, but the outcome was like, I mean, I'm not psychic. I could see shit from a mile away. That's
right, no doubt.
That's no clear doubt, for me. Man. But I enjoyed it. If we're gonna talk about strategy wise, if you fight in Jaron Ennis, you cannot let him set his feet. You cannot let him set his feet. And the fight before the Villa fight, when Jaron Ennis fought the Ukrainian dude, and I believe his name was like Karen. I got some notes. Karen Karen Chakadjian or something like that. If you watch that fight,
Karen. We just gonna call him Karen.
He's a Karen. Yeah, dude was a Karen. He fought a Karen, and the Ukrainian gentleman. That was my first time seeing him fight, and that dude. That's my first time seeing him fight. That dude was super nice. And if you watch the strategy that he showed, he never let Jaron Ennis set his feet, and it showed holes in his game. And I wanted to see Jaron. I like to see fighters that I like. Fighters that I'm a fan of. I like to see my fighters challenged. So I wanted to see Jaron Ennis fight another fighter with a similar style. So to see if he learned from that fight. Because that fight, he looked kind of vulnerable. But he only looked vulnerable because he couldn't set and he couldn't display his power. He couldn't display his precise power punches because he couldn't get his feet set. And Karen really showed you a blueprint to being successful. Not necessarily to beat Jaron Ennis, but to be successful. And I know Villa couldn't duplicate that, or because that's not Villa's style. But how did you feel about the fight, King G? Tell me your opinion on the fight. Boxologist, the scientist, the debate undisputed world champion of the world. Tell me your opinion of the fight.
You know we only gonna speak facts, man. I definitely think, bro, he redeemed himself from the Karen fight, man. It was he went from a very bad showing to an exceptional showing and performance. Fighting Villa. When he fought Karen, I kind of I put an asterisk by his name because I was like, wow, the dude Karen. I mean, a lot of people never seen him fight.
Have you seen him fight before?
I hadn't seen him fight either. I never even heard of the guy, if I'm being completely honest.
Me neither.
And so, and I think that's and that's not a good look, man, when you look bad against somebody that nobody ever heard of. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you got a knockout artist potential and you got great boxing skills. So one thing I found out about Karen, bro, Karen had some good freaking ring generalship.
Absolutely.
He had some of the best ring generalship, but the problem with him was he wasn't good fighting off the back foot. He just had ring generalship and good outboxing. He perfected his outboxing defense. You know what I mean? His
footwork was beautiful too, wasn't it?
His footwork was beautiful, but he's one of those guys where if he's in trouble, he know how to keep himself from getting knocked out. That's the type of guy you'll really have to catch him with something he don't see to knock him out. And I felt like Ennis was a sharp enough fighter, a smart enough fighter. I thought his boxing IQ was high enough to be able to cut the ring off and stop that dude. And so when he didn't, I was like, whoa, is he really what, a lot of people say he is? And so coming into the Villa fight now, Villa's an interesting character because, for one, he's promoted by Stephen Espinosa. And I mean, not Stephen Espinosa, Samson Likowitz. He's promoted by Samson Likowitz. And Samson Likowitz promotes David Benavidez. So I know he has a good eye for talent. I think he's the guy that actually discovered Manny Pacquiao too. So I know he's not just, bringing somebody, some bums on board. So when Villa was in there against Rashidi Ellis, did you see that fight?
I seen that fight.
I noticed that he's not the best boxer. He's not the fastest, but
also lost money on that fight too as well.
Oh yeah,
I've not only seen it, but lost money on that fight too. Because I thought Rashidi Ellis was going to outbox him.
I thought Rashidi Ellis, man, was going to just, honestly, I thought Rashidi Ellis was going to do exactly what the hell he did. But the last round, I didn't see that coming. I didn't see Rashidi Ellis getting caught, knocked down. And so all that stuff happened. I was just shocked. But I still felt like Rashidi Ellis picked up so many rounds early and in the middle that it still, even with 2 knockdowns, it still was enough to beat Villa. So me personally, I had Rashidi Ellis still winning the fight. You know what I'm saying? But I knew that Villa is a serious power puncher. So I thought it was a good, and he is, and I agree with you, bro. I think his style is definitely tailor-made for Boots Ennis. So going into the fight, I was a little intrigued because I'm like, I think these guys is gonna go like toe to toe, man. It's gonna be a real exciting fight. And so, man, when Ennis came out, bro, Ennis in that fight, he looked like magic, bro. Like he really looked like magic. He did everything and anything he wanted in that fight, which was very unexpected. I mean,
he did.
He reminded me of when I saw Floyd Mayweather fighting Diego Corrales. I mean, he was just on point with everything. Even if he got hit with a punch, you wouldn't know he was hurt. He took Villa's power very freaking well. His speed, his accuracy, his punch output, like his punch placement. I mean, he was just doing his thing against Villa. And what I was looking for, I was like, okay, let me see how I get into the second half of the fight, because we seen Rashidi Speedy Ellis do his thing in the first half of the fight against Villa too. So I thought it was going to get very interesting in the second half of the fight, and I thought that maybe Ennis was going to slow down and Villa was going to come on strong, but that didn't happen. He actually, now I picked Ennis to win the fight, of course, but the way he won it, man, I mean, he showed us that he got so many more things in his toolbox that he has not even displayed yet, which makes it so much more intriguing to see him fight guys like the likes of Earl Spence, Thurman, you know what I'm saying, Crawford. But I mean, the dude, he was just, man, he was amazing, bro. Like his combinations, his speed, like, oh gosh, man.
Let me ask you this.
He's a bad boy.
He's definitely a bad boy. I'm a huge fan of Jaron Ennis. Let me ask you this. We seen what Karen was able to have some success defensively, in as far as controlling distance a bit. How do you think Jaron Ennis will look against Stanios? How do you think he will look against him?
Honestly, man, I think Stanionis is another tailor-made fighter for Boots Ennis. I think his style is perfect for Ennis to showcase his talent. You know what I mean? I feel like Stanionis, he'll bring the type of fight, the perfect type of fight that Ennis needs to show people like, hey, look, I'm here. I'm not going nowhere. I'm beating top contenders. I'm beating unknown top opposition. You know what I'm saying? And I think that is a perfect showcase contender fight for him. You know what I mean? Not a showcase where you fighting a bum and you just gonna look good against a bum, but a showcase where it's like, hey, look, this dude is legit. He don't know how to lose. he can fight. Everybody will acknowledge Stanionis can fight. And I think that would be a perfect opportunity for Ennis to segue into where who's ever a champion at welterweight, it's like, bro, you can't not look at him. Even the top contenders, like you can't, like Thurman, obviously I think Danny Garcia moved up, but the top contenders, bro, you really can't like not look at him no more, bro. You're gonna have to really, really fight him. And I still want to see him fight Rashidi Ellis too, bro. Like I still want to see that fight. Like I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I hadn't win because I had him beating Villa. So I still think that would be a good fight, and I still think that's a good name for him to have on his resume. But guys like Roca or what's his name? The goofy dude with the fro. Rick Flair dude. the goofy Flair dude. Like, guys like that, man, I think he put them.
I can't think of his name.
Flair Cobbs. That's who Flair Cobbs, man. I think he handles all them dudes, man. I think the most intriguing fights, man. I think he stops Stanionis, bro. I think he stops him. I think he stops him, bro. I think he stops him. I think that's a fight that goes the distance. To me, I think that's a fight that goes the distance. I think the Stanionis fight. Now here I'll say this: if they make it a fight, I think he stops him earlier than he did Villa. If they fight, now if it's just a posturing match and he just kind of cruising, yeah, I can see that. But I see him with his momentum right now, bro. I don't think he wants to lose that momentum, and I think he's gonna go far, bro. He's definitely gonna go far. His power is his power and speed mixing, and then his switch hitting, like he gonna be hard to beat, bro. Like I'm talking about at 147, 154, and 160. Ennis is a problem. And the crazy thing is,
you said at what weight?
Ennis is a big dude. Ennis has said himself he can compete at 160. You know what I mean? Like, so he walks around as a bigger guy.
I mean, listen, I know you big boy, but like 160, we talking 160, man. That's you think that power gonna carry?
I'm gonna tell you why. Even if because obviously he has respectable power. So whether it's at 147, 154, or 160, his power is respectable. You're not just about to walk through his punches. You don't see nobody walking through his punches. And the reason why I say 160 is because if you look at the landscape at 160 right there, right now, those guys is there. You got to think about it, Shay. It ain't like it's Canelo and Triple G and Andrade, and you know what I'm saying? It ain't like it's like Danny Jacobs. It's not those guys up there no more, bro. We got a 2-year layoff. Charlo up there. We got Adames up there. We got, you know what I'm saying? And a guy, it's a guy that just won an IBF. I can't even think of that dude's name. You know what I'm saying? Then you got Danny Garcia. I think he'll beat Danny Garcia, and Danny Garcia is about to talk about fighting Laura.
I agree.
So,
it's just that you seldom see a welterweight go to 160 and carry that power. That's not normal. You know what I'm saying? That is something that is like, that's something abnormal. That's something extraordinary. That's something extraordinary when you see a dude go from 147 to 160 and he still has that power. And I think the welterweights that go from 147, the welterweights that go from 47 to 60, I think the difference is always the power. I think the power, like if the power don't carry, they're not the same fighter.
Now,
and I like Jaron, and I'm a super fan of Jaron Ennis, but I need to see him at 154 and that power go up to 154 before I could believe the power go to 160. I need to see it go up at 154 first.
I need to see it too, man. I just think he's capable. You know what I'm saying? I mean, look at Sugar Ray Robinson. You know what I'm saying? Robinson was the man at 147. He moved up to 160 and ended up becoming arguably the greatest 160 to ever live. And his power carried over. So, I think.
But that's a special fighter. That's an extraordinary fighter, right?
I agree.
So we can't use Robinson. We can't use that as the measuring stick, because that right there, is the creme de la creme. We can't do that.
Right. So look. So check it. I give you an example.
Go ahead.
Miguel Cotto.
Dig it.
Miguel went up there, stopped Sergio Martinez. You know what I mean? His power carried up enough to stop Sergio Martinez. I think
that's a good example. That's a good example. I like that.
I feel like that Ennis, he's a special fighter, bro. Like he's a special fighter, man. His footwork, his boxing IQ is very high, man. Like his defense is very good. His chin is very solid. His speed mixed with his quickness and switch hitting is a very difficult type of style to deal with any fight. That's hard to even get ready for in the gym. Like it's not a lot of guys you can go get to prepare you for a Boots Ennis unless you can manage to get somebody like a Terrence Crawford in there to spar with something. You know what I'm saying? And
no, listen. I agree.
You know,
I think that Boots Ennis is a special fighter. I think in this generation, he is one of the fighters that makes you proud of this generation. And it's hard to be proud of this generation in boxing. Yeah. But he is one of the fighters that makes me like, damn, like I can whenever, like, I never feel let down when I say, hey, yo, watch that Jaron Ennis fight tonight. I always know Jaron Ennis is going to like never let me down. It's certain fighters I could be like, yo, watch this fight. That shit ain't gonna be good. And then the motherfucker watch the fight and be like, man, that shit was garbage. But I know with Jaron Ennis, like, he never lets me down. I love Jaron Ennis as a fighter. I love his temperament and I love his personality. He has great character and I dig him. But I just want to see certain. I want to see him against certain styles, and I want to see him dominate certain styles.
Right. I think we at a stage now, bro, where I really only want to see him in there with top contenders. Like, I don't want to see Ennis fighting anybody outside the top 10 ever. Like he's at that caliber. Like, and I think he can compete with the best of them. But I really it's gonna be interesting to see what he does moving forward. Me personally, now when that fight, like, I probably would have. Well, shoot, it's kind of too late, man. But I think I probably would have tried to, depending on how much he was getting paid, I probably would have tried to push that joint back, man, to be on the Spence Crawford undercard, just to get more eyes on him. Because you got to think about it like this.
I agree with that.
You know, this pay-per-view card, man, I think this is going to do stupid numbers, and it's going to be a lot of eyes on this card. And I think with the type of performance that he had put on, that would have been a great thing to look at on an undercard of a Terrence Crawford Spence. And people would have been like, hey, the winner of that fight, y'all need to fight this guy. Because this dude looks like he is the real deal. And I think that could have built that up. But you know, obviously they went a different route with that. So we just gonna see what he do in the future, man. I got high hopes of him. I definitely think he's gonna be a champion. And I think I don't think he's gonna get Crawford and Spence in the ring, but I think he's gonna get one of them. I think he's gonna catch one of them. And I don't know who's gonna win. Like, I don't know.
Let's look at the top 10 welterweights right here. So I brought it up. We got Terrence Crawford number 1, Errol Spence number 2,
okay,
Virgil Ortiz number 3, Jaron Ennis is 4, Stanionis is 5, Cody Crowley is 6, David Abanesian is 7, Mario Barrios is 8. What the fuck is this? Hold on. Alex Rocha is 9. And Roman Villa is 10. Now let's take out Crawford and Spence. Jaron Ennis pretty much will be favored against every one of them welterweights.
Yeah. Now we got it. Now there's one piece to that equation that you're missing that we're gonna have to add in there.
Go ahead.
And that's Keith One-Time Thurman.
Keith One-Time Thurman.
Due to inactivity,
the dark horse.
Yeah, the dark horse. Now I think if he has a fight, they're going to put him in the top 5 for sure. You know, I'm showing, like, on BoxRec, they probably not showing him because of the inactivity. If you inactive for a year, they take you off. But I think, you know, once he has a fight, they're going to rank him up there high. I think Ennis, man, I think Ennis stops all them dudes. I think he stops all of them. Virgil Ortiz, I need to see what's up with Virgil, man, because, you know, he just pulled out again. He might not be fighting at 147. I need to see what he's going to do. But everybody else you name, man, like Roka, like I got him stopping all them dudes. But the Thurman fight would legitimize him. I think that's the fight he should go for more so even than the Spence Crawford fight. I think he should go for that Thurman fight because
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? That the Thurman and the standing on this fight, that would be my focus if I was in this right now. So, and I think that would catapult him to another level. You know what I'm saying? In the welterweight division where you can't ignore him. And I think he's definitely going to be in line to pick up that IBF title if they, disperse the belts, but which I don't think they're going to do. I think he's going to actually have to fight an undisputed champion if he's going to get a belt in the present time, like in these next 2 years. I think if it's a title shot, it's probably going to be against an undisputed champ. So, we'll see. My last words with Ennis. I think he's an excellent, superb boxer. And like I said, I think he beats everybody. I even think he beats Thurman. I would actually pick him to beat Thurman as well, especially with the layoff. But with the Crawford and Spence, it's a toss up, man. I really have to see how them guys look and the war that they have, and you know what I'm saying, because that they might go into a fight, bro, where they leave something in the ring. You know what I mean? And the loser of that fight might be vulnerable to lose to Ennis as well. But I'm not going to say that and like stamp that right now. I'm just going to have to wait and see. But I definitely look forward to Jaron Ennis next fight. And I can't wait to see it, man. What's your final take on Ennis?
Final take on Ennis is that he's a supreme talent. I don't see him losing anytime soon. Not to any of these top 10 welterweights outside of Spence and Crawford. I don't see him losing anytime soon, and I'm dying to see his next fight. He's a great Philadelphia fighter, and he carries the torch of Philadelphia. He carries it well.